Hello everyone! It's time to talk about the new world exploration. Uh, I don't know how long this video is actually gonna be, but there's a lot to go through, and I just want to start with the basics and then we'll dig deeper as we go. So, first of all, you'll need Guardian level 100 to unlock it. Once you do that, you will see this bridge here that you can click, and then you will unlock it from there. There's gonna be a small cutscene playing out here where you unlock the whole thing, I mean. When you do, you will open this menu here. There's going to be two choices here. Let's go into the world exploration first, and then we will look at the forge. So, the actual exploration will work like this. You will see I have done a few levels already, but you will start here with the first mission, and the whole style of the gameplay is very similar to those old games, Heroes, Might and Magic, if you remember those. I'm sure there are other games as well. I've seen some of them being mentioned, but I don't know those myself. So each of the missions will give different clear rewards, as you can see here. We'll look into that a little bit later and also check what is what here. Let's just get into one of the missions and have a look at that. I think this is a good one here because this could be a little bit confusing at first, and then you will just see how it looks while inside. Also do note that there's two buttons down here. When you have not completed a new level, you will only have the start exploration, and that will consume one of these tickets here, and those are recharged at the reset. There's also a mission in the mission screen where if you complete 10 of these, you will get another ticket. So I assume that's going to be for every 10 you'll get an 11th ticket, and the maximum is 25 levels of that, so that we know there is at least 275 levels of this. So I'm just going to start this in recon mode, and also what's worth noting is that if you fail or, well, not failing, then you won't consume the ticket at all, but if you kill the boss before you get all the rewards and treasures, you will be able to go back in and get those with recon. However, the clear reward and the reward boost will only be given when you do consume a ticket. However, there are treasure chests inside as well, and those can be gained when you do the recon. Let's take this mission here and have a look. So, we're inside here and there's some talking. I believe this is hopefully going to happen on each of the levels because it looks pretty nice. And here you'll also see the rewards. In this instance here we are controlling two characters. In the first one there's only one, so you can switch between them on this screen here, and that's also how you can move. You can also click your own hero like this, or the actual hero I mean, and then move. In this particular mission we want to get through this whole thing in less than 10 turns and kill the boss in 10 turns. In order to do that, you need to advance here on these two lanes. So let's start with Princess. First I did fail this actually because I moved right here. You actually want to move to the bush and break it. Then you will also conquer this mine here. Same thing goes for Veronica in this case, going to rock and breaking it. And there you go. Now you can see up here in the left corner there is the rocks and the wood that is being given each turn. Gonna do the same thing all the way through here, so I'm just keep breaking them, and I'll use Veronica as well. There we go. And when we get to the end, we win basically. In this case here, when you get to this chest, I've already opened it of course, but let's just simulate as I haven't. You want to go here first, so you do conquer this, just to get the extra resources from conquering this lumber mill here. And with Princess, I'm going to move her over to the bush first as well, and do the same thing. Now, I'll simply move Veronica over here, and we will pretend that we do open the chest. And then we will take Princess and move over here. And we can see we are on turn 5 now, so we got halfway. Now it's time to move Veronica's again. The chest is open, so we'll move over here. Okay, I can't do that. I'll have to waste one by placing her there. Same thing here with Princess. I'm gonna put her here and open that chest. We are pretending that did happen now. Then I'm gonna break that bush with Veronica, and I'm moving my Princess over here. Now there's 3 more turns, and we'll move over here, break the rock. You see the time is still fine. If you do it like this, and then we'll break that one there. Very nice. And now I'll use my Veronica first, because I want to get rid of this NPC, and I will want to fight the boss with the FP. Actually, second thought, I can't do that. So I'm just gonna move it like that. Reason is that I wouldn't reach it that way, because you see here, I can't move further than that. And now we're on round 9, and we make it just in time. Oh, so Veronica is the one to do the fight now, apparently. Well, all in time anyways. So, if that would have failed with the timer there, I would have to restart the whole thing, and the ticket is not consumed, just like when you fail a rift or something, you don't consume the stamina. And that's it, then you get rewards. So let's just finish this up quickly and get out. Just to show the first mission as well while we're here, just to see how it looks. You have these enemies here, and all of the fights are manually played, just like the last one we saw with the boss there. The enemies can only move on the tiles that's around them. We're going to look at that just after this fight here. And so if you move within one of those tiles, the enemies will come to you. You will see here now their range. There's also a bunch of bushes here. I don't think they actually do anything. You do get some wood, yes, but there's no place to use them in this map in particular. It's more just to show it as an example. And here we go. Just going to complete this fight. So you can see all the levels are like different maps with some different ways to move around them. And they're also very easy at this point, of course, but I think it's going to get a lot harder later on. Let's move out and move back to the UI and have a look at the actual things here, what we can get and so on. You can also see this is something that I noticed for the days here. When the first day was happening, like when we got it, there was no reward boost on this thing. However, when I got to this one, this was boosted. When I got to the 3rd level, the 3rd and the 1st was boosted, and then when I got to the 4th, the 2nd and the 4th was boosted. I haven't completed the next level, so I don't know what's going to happen later. I thought that it was gonna be 2 and 2 all the time, so if you do get stuck, you can move back and get the boost, because you see there's a little bonus here. But I think the best way to do this is simply to move on as much as you can. We haven't really seen a huge increase in awards yet, but it's very possible that you are going to get more things as you go. You can see here there's a 6, 12, 3, and here there's a 6, 8, 12. However, this one does give a little bit less, but yeah, I think it's going to gradually increase as you go, so you definitely want to progress as far as you can. So, what are all these items then? Let's head into the forge and look at them there. I think that would be easier. So this is where you spend all the items that you get. You have the crafting material here, and there's going to be clay, there's going to be the circuit boards, and there's going to be the dye. Those are the 3 resources that you will be obtaining. But in order to craft something, you also need blueprints, and these are the blueprints. Not all of them, there are 6 in total, and we're going to look at that a little bit later. Let's just craft something and have a look at it. I'm going to craft this one. Each craft, by the way, takes 6 blueprints, not 1, as we thought initially. So let's get to it. And there we go, that's a 2 hour and 59 minutes craft. I also have a spreadsheet that we're going to take a look at a little bit later, so let's just remember that time now. And let's start another craft. What you can also do down here with the blueprint is that you have an ability to discard some of your blueprints. So let's take and discard 2 here, just as an example. That means you will get the blank blueprints. So let's go into here. You can see here the unique merch. There is 6 of those and 6 blueprints, so there's 1 unique merch per blueprint. And yes, we're going to look at all those in detail later. The blank one, however, has all the unique merch, all the 6 in one go. So you will have a smaller chance for each of them, but you can get them all. I would recommend that you do not do what I just did there and get the blanks until you actually have one blueprint where you don't want this unique merch, let's say you don't want a smiley face, or you have one that is 5-star already, then you can do it, because these are more expensive to build. You can see here there's 333, that's 9 in total resources, where this one is 521 and that is only 8. Same goes for the other blueprints. It's always 521 in either, like, in different orders. So there's that. Let's create another one. Let's just create a blank and put that in as well. And that's another 3 hour there, and we can also make a last one. Let's make a CD or the round blueprint here. So this process can obviously be tedious, but you do have these accelerators here, and these will instantly complete it. So let's take this one, for example. It's the longest one, like so, and it's done. And there's a little animation. Let's see what we're getting. Ah, a rare basic. All right. So I'll just explain before we look into each of the merc and see what they do. Let's just see how the actual upgrading and such works. I'm going to finish them all, actually. I don't really care about this account. Obviously you maybe want to save your accelerators for more higher level or higher timed items, sorry, yeah. Let's create another 2 as well, just because we can. So starting that one, and I also have one more accelerator. There we go. And that's a 29-minute one, or 30 minutes rather. We don't want to use it on there, but there's a 3 hours, so let's do it on this one. See what happens. Is it another one? Yes. Very interesting. That's actually perfect, because now we can take a look at how the upgrading system works. So now that we're on the upgrade menu, you can see that there are different qualities here. Sadly, I do not have a unique one to show you, but we're going to take a look at a book later. These ones here are the common items, and they always start at 1 star. Then there is the 2-star items that are rare, and then there are the unique 3-star items. So in order to upgrade these, you need to either just put it in like this, and you can put these like fodder, as you can see here, and then they will gain levels. However, in order to increase the stars, you need the same item. So, for example, let's take the item out and take this as a better example. For the 2-star, you will need 1 item to increase the star by 1. Then you need 2 more items to go from 3 stars to 4 stars. And then to go from 4 to 5, then you need 3 items of the same one. So 1 star, you need 1 item to go from 1 to 2. To 2 to 3, you also need 1. 3 to 4, you will need 2 items. And then 4 to 5, you will need 3 items. So let's upgrade this thing here. There you go. So now we need 1 more of these in order to get it maxed out. And I also have 1 of these, so let's do this as well, like so. And now we see we are halfway here. We are on 3 stars, so we need 2 items, but I only had 1. There's another tip here actually that I want to give. I don't know how many items you're gonna have, like in total, but I think it might be pretty scarce, so it might be smart to maybe not go all the way to 30 if you got a good item, but instead maybe go to like 27 or something, and then, you know, when you're getting the dupe items, you can put them in, so when as you increase the star, you also increase the last few levels, so you don't waste any of the fodder. So there's that. Before we go into the more deep diving of optimizations with the packages, because there are some packages that we're going to look at as well that are very interesting. So I'll just interrupt myself there. I figured my explanation was a little bit unclear before, so I just want to add this while editing it now. You can see here on this picture I made, 2 1 stars equals 1 2 star. When you have that 2 star, you need another 1 star to make it 3 star. When you have the 3 star, you need 2 2 stars to make it 4 star. And keep in mind, those that start on 1 star cannot be 4 star. And when you have your 4 star item, you can see in the bottom lane there, and then to make it 5 star, which is only the uniques, then you need 3 stars into the 4 star, that is, as you can see in the picture, and then you will get the 5 star. So a total of 6 of the same there. So let's keep going. Mercs. So let's see here, and there we go. There. So Here's the total of them all. These gray ones here, I believe they are mostly going to be used as fodder. You may want to level them up to 3-star just to get a collection. I'll definitely do that. But other than that, they are pretty much useless, except maybe for this one here that you can see can give some healing. Maybe you want that for your Mia. I don't even know what I want to do with my Mia, but maybe this is like a good idea. It looks more viable at the moment. Because she's just there to heal anyways. But other than that, they're just useless. Let's just look at them though anyways. Here you have some fire attack and normal attack, and that's gonna be the case for all of these 3-5. So there are different elements here. And while this is not useless in itself, there are better artifacts that you will most likely get your hands on as well. You can see here there's there's some crit going on there, and then there is maybe that could probably not. Then there is the defense here and the shield on kill. So yeah, not the most exciting of stats here. Here's some attack on enemy kill. They're very niche and pretty much just You want to go for these because the thing is, even though one of these may seem decent, take looking at this for example, or this one, that's actually crit damage now that I see it. Yeah. You still need to level it up to 30. What's also worth to note here is that only the top stats, that's like the raw stats, will increase when you increase its level. The crit multiplier, which is like the special stat, will increase from the star level. So you see it's 1 here, there's going to be 2 here. Oh no, that's 4. That's the case on this one probably. Yeah, that's a 2. And then it's going to be 7 here. So as the stars go up, the special stat will increase, but the actual raw stats will only increase when you do level them. So you want to do both. As we move up, we can look at the other ones. Here there is some HP on kill. There's also a high attack rating and 3% HP. On this one here, the bike, there is the 9 defense, 3 HP and 20% light attack. That's also going to be the case for many of the others. This one is a little bit special however, because it gives a high defense, which is really nice. That's not the case for all of them, although it's going to be 9-3. Here's another one that doesn't give any elemental damage, but instead it gives HP attack and then some weapon skill regen on enemy kill. So those are probably going to end up as fodder as well, at least for me. Then there's the one that we worked with earlier. That's also defense, HP and basic attack 20. Then there is the Meril cushion. That's high attack and also skill damage. Might save this one actually. Then there's a snow globe, and you can see these two are swapped now, so there's 9 HP instead of defense and 3 defense and 20% fire attack. We have the water version, same thing there. Then there is the earth one, same thing there. And finally the dark one, which has the defense on the high one. And this one is going to be very interesting for, I believe, for arena with Beth, for example. Anyways, moving up to the rare ones, we have the smiley face cushion. That's 12% HP and 15% shield increase in battle start. That could be a very good one for tanks. I mean, and for Ogma if you want to go in the orbital lift or maybe even arena. I don't think the damage one makes a lot of sense to put on Ogma, so I would definitely want this. Then we have the mouse Nari cushion, and that will give you 9% attack, 6% defense, and on hit extra ranged damage of 25% to your DPS once every 2 seconds. You also have the t-shirt here, the Ice Witch one, which is exactly the same, except it's melee damage instead of range damage. So 9-6 there, same thing there. These are going to be very useful, I think. However, I don't think it's the best, but that's up to all and each of you to decide for yourselves. You have this, that's also a very interesting one, could be very potent for, say, Colosseum, or if you're lucky in Arena and you have it as have it versus the right one. So let's just take a look at the stats. That's 9-6 attack and HP, and it will increase your damage to tanker heroes by 24%. So that means Ogma, FP, Marina, Craig, Rampang will take extra damage if you have this on and you are fighting them. I guess it will be a little bit like the injury card, you know, a little bit hit or miss there. I mean, it could be wasted on the wrong heroes, of course, but if you do this on versus them, yeah, it will be really nice. Same thing if you get 4 of these, for example, or 3 at least in a Colo team and you take out the tank. I mean, GG. Then we have the little princess figure here, 9 defense, HP, 6, and decrease damage taken by 15% of increased skill attack. Now this one is very interesting actually, because let's imagine you put this on your Ogma and then you have a Bar in the team, or Veronica for that matter. That would probably put you close to 100% extra skill attack, which would mean you will take 15% less damage. And I do definitely believe this works in PvP as well, simply because it's not, you know, damage decrease or damage reduction stat, but it's like a percentage. So this one could be very, very annoying for the opponent if you have this on. And finally, my personal favorite, attack plus 12 and increase the damage down by 20% to enemies with HP more than or equal to 40%. So basically, if you're fighting a raid boss starting at 100% all the way down to 40%, you're going to deal 20% more damage. And I assume this will be added after all the other things. So if you are hitting the boss for, let's say, 10,000 in one hit, then it will simply just be added like 20% more on each of your hits. So this one is very good for, well, most content honestly, but especially raid when the bosses have a lot of HP, so it's gonna take a while to get them down to below 40. However, below 40 this one will only give 12 attack, so then you might want to resort to your elemental cards instead. And that's it for all the merc here. Oh, and of course there's 2 super costumes as well that are having a 0.5% chance for you to get. There's the Plitwise one, which I've seen footage of. It's really cool. It will change her fire attacks to crimson flames instead, so they're like dark red. Looks pretty awesome. Then there is of course the Night one as well, the Gale Knight, Autumn Gale, and yeah, looks pretty nice too. There was 2 more here, but they decided to remove them and probably rework them after people complained that they weren't happy with the results. So I'm assuming we will see those 2 coming back in the newer versions, or maybe different ones. Anyways, let's move on. Now we're inside the shop, and this is only applying to those who are willing to spend money, of course. But let's go through it anyways. In total, there's going to be 6 packs. 4 of these and 2 of these. The only difference between the packs is that how many gems you get, and of course the price as well. I believe the price for this will be about $35 and this will be about $75. So that's a total of $300 for all of them, which can feel quite a lot actually. So it's a bit unfair, I suppose, for those who cannot get these, because they are very, very useful. Let's take a look at the contents. Both packs have the same contents, however the slots this time do differ a little bit. So we're gonna take a look at this. I personally would not go for the option lock stones or the change stones, nor the paid gems down here. Same goes for this, awakening box, magic metal and paid gems I would not go for. So let's just not look at those at all and instead look at the other contents that are relevant to the exploration. The first slot is the blueprint slot, let's call it that, and you will be able to choose 150 of each blueprint. As we said before, there's 6 blueprint needed for each craft, so that means you will get 25 crafts for each of these, and there's 6 that you can choose in total. That means you can either get 1 of each, or you can get 6, or well, any combination you want really. There's also the accelerators, as you saw before, to instant complete them. Then in the second slot there is materials, so you have 375 of each of the materials. So that means you can get either 6 of them if you want. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me though. Or you can get 2 of each, for example. And there's also the accelerators. Now the question is, what is the optimal way to do this? Well, I think we need a spreadsheet for this, so let's just get that right away. And there we go. This spreadsheet, by the way, is being linked in the description of this video, so please check that, and it's available for everyone, of course, so feel more than free to share it with as many people as you can. I believe it's going to definitely come in handy. Here I have just listed the crafting costs, so you can see there are different combinations of each. So there's 521 here, there is 125, there's 251, 512, 215 and 152. So there's all the combinations of the where those positions of the numbers are basically. Here's a list of the different things that you can get from the crafts, and I also added little icons here that will show which unique is linked to which blueprint. And then here they are sorted by time. So as you can probably see by now, there are specific time for specific items. So for example, if you get a 40-minute craft, then you will know it's going to be the Marina Shark keychain. If you get the 8-minute one, then you know it's the wrist guard, and if you get a 12-minute, then there is the Sohi tapestry. There's also 2 6-hour ones, and what you can see here, there is a little icon here of the flash memory. I'm just going to call them for what they actually are. It's just easier to keep track of. So for example, if you are building a blueprint with using the flash memory, then you will either get the little princess figure or the medley box. However, if you do use another blueprint, then it's 100% going to be the medley music box. Further down in the sheet, before going down actually, we have I have also added this list here where I'm trying to keep track of all the mats and BPs that you're going to get. It's not filled out now, and it's probably going to change a lot as the missions go, because we don't really know the rewards. So we're not going to take too much notice on that. I'm just going to fill it out whenever I have time. We can move down here. There is the merc stats here, and then I have just listed all the merc here with their respective stats, so you can just see it here. Maybe it's easier to look at it here, I don't know. There's also the drop down up here that I forgot about. So if you choose this, you can see the percentages change around a little bit. So for example, if we choose the Ice Witch t-shirts, you can see it's 3% there, but it's 0% for the others. That is just because you cannot get them from that blueprint. So this assumes that you use a specific blueprint. So for example, for the Ice Witch, that would be the mechanical hard drive. If we go for this smiley face cushion, that would be the floppy disk. Then you can see there's 0% on the t-shirt, but now instead the smiley face is 3%. So it's just that. It doesn't really have a big function, but yeah, figure I'd just answer that question before someone wants to know. Down here, however, there are some other things that we have added, and this is where it gets interesting. But I think before we're going to look at this, let's just go to the right away and have a look at the different combinations here. Because we figured out, of course, the question for those of you who are going to buy the packs, what's the optimal choices in the packages. And you can see here, if you go for, let's take the floppy disk as an example, if you want a smiley face, then you would get... we have been doing a lot of this stuff, by the way. The first theory was that maybe you want to go and complete it as soon as possible, or versus doing the long game. And then we calculated with 1 blueprint per craft, but that was not the case, obviously, as we saw later. We need to learn to read. By saying we, by the way, it's me and a couple of friends. I don't want to take all the credit for this work, of course. But yeah, so we did... change the whole thing after. So there's basically 2 ways to do this. You have the fast way and you have the patient way, let's just call them that. The fast way, let's say you want to get the smiley faces. We think that going for 1 is the most worth thing to do, because the RNG to get all of these is gonna take a while. Some of these you may even want multiple of, because you can only equip them 1 at a time. So going back into the game, for example, that means, let's go into my future princess here. You see the new slot is up here, and the item will be equipped like such. So now Garam has this one, for example. So if I take this now, Garam would not have it anymore. So you would need multiple of this merc. So back here, I think it would be better to just go all in for 1. I think you would get most out of that, instead of just spreading it out, because then you're just going to sit with low stars on a lot of things, or maybe not even get the item that you want. Most likely you're going to get at least 1 unique, but you never know, right? And yeah, you want as many of them as possible, of course. So, for example, with 150 floppy disks, we're looking at 900, of course. That's 150 times 6, but that would result in 150 crafts. That's also what the C means here. That's a little list there, shows how many crafts you actually get for the BPs. So the numbers here reflect to the second number with a C on. So for example 75, that means you bought 450 BPs, or 3 packages, or 3 choices in the slot 1. So if you make, for example, 150 floppy disks, that would cost you 750 clay, 300 circuit boards and 150 dice. That means you will be spending 4 package slots out of 6 possible, and that means you could, if you want to, get 50 accelerators. The same goes for this combination here, where there is 75 and 75, but it's also worth noting of the craft costs. So you can see the positions here are 5, 2, 1, and in this case it's also 5 in the first lot, and that's why this is possible. Otherwise, take for example this one where it says 5, that would take 525, 525 and 150, which means you will need to buy 2 packages of clays and 2 packages of circuit boards and 1 package of dye. That means it's going to take 5 choices instead of 4, leaving you with less accelerators. If you want to go for the fast way, we believe that going for one where either you go all in on one blueprint or you take 2 where the 5 is in the same position. So let's look at this 4 for example, and we look at the USB sticks and the floppies. That means you buy 3 of each, that's 75 crafts. You see the 5 is in the same position here, which means that it's going to take 750 of one, but the other 2 are below 375, and that means you can also get the accelerator. Now, before looking at the other option, you obviously may want to know where do you use the accelerators, because we had a lot of different times, and that's when this table comes in. The way we did this is that it's kind of backwards, so reading this out just to clarify, total time needed if not accelerating the craft, see cells time and shorter. So what this means is that, let's say in this example we would have 50 accelerators, so looking at the 49 would make sense to me. In this case that means you will not accelerate these. So 2:30, 3 hours, 3 hours 48 and 6 hours you will accelerate, but not the other ones. That way you will most likely more or less get away with exactly 50, give or take, you know, a few depending on the RNG. But this we calculated the odds of, you know, getting them and working from there. I'm gonna spare the details because it's a lot of numbers, just to keep it simple. So there's that. There is however another way which I think is the better way, and that is the slow way, or the patient one. So instead of actually buying any accelerators, I'm personally going to go for no accelerators. The reason for this is so that I don't run out of mats, because you can see here, for example, if we would go with this one here, 750, that's 375 times 2, sorry, and that means you're not going to have any more clay after this. And I don't know how much mats we are gonna get. We don't know that. Like, we're gonna see when the next KR patch hits. Maybe they're gonna get more packs, or maybe the missions are gonna give a lot more, but I'm not willing to take the risk personally. And in the end of the day, it's not really gonna change much. Yes, you are going to get all your things in you know, a couple of hours instead of days, but we're in for the long game here, and I'm gonna tell you why in just a moment. But first, let's just take a look at what I suggest. So, as an example, once again, we can use the SSDs as an example here. Actually, that's what I'm going for personally, because I want this hero statue, and that was, remember, this one, 12 attack and increased damage to enemies that are above 40% by 20%. So, my plan here is to go for 150. That means slot 1 will have 6 of these SSDs times 150, that's 900 in total. And what I want to do with the materials here is to buy 1, this is for slot 2 by the way, so 1 clay, the one that has 5 in a position, that would be 3 of those, and then in the slot that has 2, that would be dye, then I'm going to buy 2 of those. This means I will buy a total of 375 clay, 1125 circuits and 750 dice. When I've spent all these, that means I will be left with 225 clay, 375 circuits and 450 die, which is plenty and also very well balanced. So that might be a very good way to do it, I think. Of course the choice is free, and you can also apply this theory to whatever you choose. For example, let's say instead of SSDs you want to go for let's say CDs, for example, you want a Nari cushion, yeah? So the same thing applies here in this example. Actually, it's a bad example. Let's go for something that has a very different combination. Let's go for USB sticks. You want the Ogma plastic model, right? In that case, you would buy 3 packages of clay. you would buy 1 package of circuit boards and you would buy 2 packages of die, and you will end up with the same result. However, they are not going to be spread the exact same way, but I believe that would make you have yeah, you get the idea. I think it, yeah, okay, so it's, where's the 5 now? Boo 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 boo. Right, the 5 is in the middle. Yeah, so you would have 375 clay left over. You would have where's the 2? There's the 2, and the 2 on the USB is also there, so 450 of those, right? And yeah, you get what I mean. You just have to look at where the positions of the craft is and go from there. So just repeating one more time for the USB, that is. If it's a 5, you buy 3 of those. If it's a 1, you buy 1 of those. And if it's a 2, you buy 2 of those. And that's going to be 6 in total. And then you're not going to have a problem with materials. Now, the game will also give you a few accelerators. I think you start out with one, if I remember correctly, and there's also packages being sent out every day in the mailbox for 5 days. And I believe you get 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. And there's also a few more. I think you're going to have 8, 9, or 10 or so in total. So if we go over here again and have a look, that means with this view, of course, 6 hours is the only one that I can, or that would make sense for me to accelerate, which means 11 is what I need in order to complete this in 2.43 days. But you're of course going to go to bed, maybe you have other things to do in real life, so then you can just wait it out, of course. So yes, it won't just take 1 hour like it do for other things. However, we're in this for a long game, and the reason for that is the amount of uniques you will want to get in the end is going to be plenty. In order to get 4 uniques for 1 character each in a team, that means you need 24 of them in total, and that's going to take a long time. Of course, this initial nuke here is going to maybe get you 1 5-star or 2 4-stars if you would like that, or even 3 1-stars or 4 1-stars even. Yeah, 6 in total, for example. Yeah, that's what I mean. But that's only 6 out of 24, and obviously the maths and the speed of everything is going to slow down significantly after buying the packages or spending everything from the packages. So we are in this for the long game, and 3 days is not going to matter a lot. So that's why I opted out of going for the accelerators altogether, and that might be something to think about. But of course, if you want that little head start, then accelerating them might be the way to go for you as well. So now that we're back in the game, I believe I have gone through everything. I see I have a mail up here. Could it be more resources? No, it was not, but it could have been. Let's do the last mission and just have a look at that, and we'll also fill the spreadsheet. So you can see there's a lot of parties here as a total. Right now we only have access to 2, but I believe it's going to get more elaborate as we go. So let's have a look what happens when we enter this one. I have never done this before, so it's new for both of us. How to guard the treasure. Alright, I see a little goblin out there, so let's see. Here's the rewards, confirm, and it's my turn. So let's move my units up there. I don't think there's anything else of interest out in the edges, so let's just move both units forward. Now it's time for the enemy, and okay. So it's just a simple attack game, it seems. So let's take care of this guy here and his friends. And I see there is a tower in the end here. Might as well get rid of that so we don't get killed here. There we go. And it's down. Now we move Veronica right behind. So this map wasn't as elaborate as others. I remember it's the second map that also requires some teamwork with opening switches and stuff, and I may add that right now that it could be smart to kill the top lane first before the boss, because when you kill the final boss you do finish and then you have to go in again. But don't worry, it's just a chest up there, so you will need to recon and then you will get it. Here comes the ghost, taking care of her with his team here. Nice. And it's time for the boss. Did I see a chest though? Right. So the problem here is that the we can click on the enemy, by the way, to see where it is. What we want to do now is we want to grab both chests, and in order to save time, so we don't have to restart, we're actually going to die here. Let's see. Okay, I want to position myself here. So moving her there and moving Veronica there. Now it's time to get ready. So we see that the boss will attack us if we stand here, but not here. So I'm going to position both my characters here and here. Now it's time to run for the chests. However, I think I might actually kill the boss now. Typical. Well, let's just give it a try. I'm going for this box here, opening it, and the boss is gonna come for me. No, never mind, it didn't. Right, the turn has to be over. So, this is how we do it. Sorry, like I said, haven't done it before. Yay, got both of them. Now the boss is gonna rush us. Let's see who it takes. Ah, he went for the bad team. But, anyways. Otherwise, when killing the boss, the game would have finished and we would have to go in again. So they are sneaky like this. So do keep in mind that you may not want to finish too fast, depending on the level. And there we go. It's done. Yay! So, I think or hope that I have answered or gone through everything. I didn't want to dive too deep. So let's just finish off the spreadsheet as a last thing here. How to guard treasure, that's the one. And there's 2 chests in this one, so I'm just gonna put 2 out of 2 there, so we know. And we also, of course, know the contents of this. So there was 6 USB sticks. There was 12 of these clay here. Oops, that's not the slot for this. Now it's a bit confusing. Right, I'll do this later. We have been reworking this thing and it's yeah, it's a bit messy at the moment, so we just had to figure out a better system for it. Command center though, gonna just put that there, and there is also 2 boxes in there, so putting it there. Anyways, I hope this has been useful, and if you have any questions, just write those in the comments, of course, or poke me wherever, Discord, you know where to find me. And yeah, let's get hyped about this. I am personally really looking forward to this new content. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and best of luck for your crafts, and see you all later. Bye. Before I go, actually, I just added these 2 pictures here. The second one is coming up soon as well, so you can just pause and take a screenshot or whatever. And just to summarize what I went through before, just to so you can keep it, and it's maybe easier when you are going to make the purchases, if you're going for those packages, that is. And also, you can of course mix and match and just use the same logic we went through before. So just ask if there's something that's unclear though in the comments. Bye.